Hi, good day. Today we're going to look at the Progress Hex Editor Pro, which is a very powerful, versatile, yet user-friendly hex editor, which allows users of mobile devices, Android or iOS, to have the full functionality and the power to edit files. It could be text files, image files, executables, binary files, documents. And within the editor has powerful capability to edit, search for patterns and string. You can use wildcard searches, and what we'll do to see that is where you can put in a character and you don't know what the next character is. You can put a question mark and so on until you find it. And what is unprecedented, one of the two unprecedented features is that you can also have a wildcard replace. So let's say let's open a file. Okay. Now, this is a binary file, but we'll look for CAT. Let's do that. CAT. Now, the default is case sensitive, so it must match. But then if you click the checkbox, it's case insensitive. So find any instance of CAT regardless of the case. It could be capital C, capital T, capital A. It shouldn't matter. So you just do a search, right? And we found it there. And we can press next to see if there's another instance of cat. Yes, it found it. So what we can do, we can go back to the search. Instead of CAT, we put C question mark T. And then we go to search. We found it because A is the unknown character, and it found anything with an instance of C something T. Do another search. So here we have C lowercase t capital T. It's not CAT, but it begins with C and ends with T. Let's do another search. Here but again, we have CPT, capital C, capital P, lowercase t. So you get a feeling for the power of the search using wildcard for text. And we won't replace, but when I was speaking of replacing, we can put, if you put a question mark, means do not change the character. The next one, we will want to change it. Let's say you want to change the second character, always be U. And then we put a question mark here. So what that essentially means is, look for anything beginning with C, one character, and ending in T. And what you do is replace only the middle character or letter or number with U. And that is the power of the editor at the highest level. And then we can look at hex searches now. So let's go back here and look at the actual value about search. Right. So let's go back here. Search. Right. So we've seen the hex values on the left and the actual characters, visible characters on the right. It's 43, 61, 74. So 43, 61, 74, 43, 61, 74. So we do a search, we found it. Now let's attempt to do it with question marks to signify a missing or unknown. And we do a search. There, it found it. So we go back to it to see what was done. Now what we can do, this additional powerful feature, is we can look at the 4-bit values. So right now, the 2 question marks signify an 8-bit value, meaning 2 hex values. We can go further and we can just say like a 1 there. So we know it's 436174. But with the 4-bit search, we can now theoretically search for one where we're looking at a 4-bit unknown, which in the first instance we know is 61. So let's search and see. Right? And if we search again, if it will find another okay, great. So it found another instance, 43 unknown 174, and the unknown in this case is 4. And that is the power of this search for the hex, where you can have many more possibilities to find variables that are part of a hexadecimal value, which comes in very handy for finding for code or encrypted string patterns and whatnot. And last but not least, the same replace capability we saw in text exists in the hexadecimal replace. The same logic of using question mark to not change a value. So let's say we say 43 and we want to change this to 5, and you put a question mark here. Put a question mark here. There's also a safeguard here that you can do the wildcard replace on or off. So you won't make a mistake. So only when you explicitly want to use it, you have to check that checkbox. So then we said, if we see a 43, let's start over. So the 43 we don't want to change. So we say in the replace, don't change. The next one, we want to change it, so we put a 5. Next one said don't change. And then in our last 2, we want to leave the 74 untouched. We put, so what that essentially will do, it will only change the unknown in the search to 5, and everything else will remain the same. So there we have it. Very powerful hex editing tool. These features are unheard of, unprecedented. And the latest version was released today in September 2024 with the latest version of Android. And you can use this to edit files from your external directory without any restrictions for both read-only and write.